Okay, so we're gonna make some chocolate covered Oreos. I went to Michael's and I got the candy wafers and I got a melting pot. So let's go ahead and make these desserts for Ryan's 4th birthday. Okay, so this is the candy melting pot that I got from Michael's. Originally, I was using a container and that was just such a mess. I ended up having to throw it away. So this will definitely melt it much quicker. I also have orange candy wafers as well as yellow candy wafers. Want to also show you guys the first batch that I created. Again, this is what I used the pot to make. Cannot get this open. Okay, I had used a pot to make these. The tops were so smooth, but look at the bottoms, a hot mess, and it did not get all of it. So that's why I had to go ahead and get that melting pot, because I need the bottoms to be smooth. And essentially this ended up like this because I did not have the wafers hot enough. So now this pot is gonna do just that. So let's get started. All right, so we've got it plugged on in. We'll just turn it on. Or actually, before we turn it on, it said it can hold up to 2.5 cups of the wafers. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump those in there. Okay, and now we'll just wait for it to melt. Now I'm just mixing it some more so it can be nice and pasty. I literally want it to be like a liquid. All right, so we're gonna add the rest. Ryan's gonna put them in there. Thank you. All right, so I added a little bit of vegetable oil just so that the mix could get a little bit softer, a little bit faster. That's something that I noticed helped with this batch that I did this time compared to the first batch that I created where you guys saw in the beginning of the video. So I kind of just took my time really mixing that in, making sure all the vegetable oil got through. And then I kind of turned it down as needed because I didn't want it to burn. And then after that, we then poured it in, and this was Ryan's favorite part. Every time I laid out the chocolate, he was there to plug in the Oreo, making sure that we pressed it in, and then I just went back through and filled it. That way we were able to get all of the Oreos covered. And then we kind of completed this process, repeated this process, until we were completely done. Something I noted with this is to make sure whenever you're pouring your chocolate is that you actually make sure that you use a spoon or some sort of like baking tool to give it that smooth coating. So like the first batch had so many bumps because at the bottom I didn't have enough to smooth it out. So I just made sure at the very end I smoothed everything out so that the bottoms of the chocolate covered Oreos could actually be smooth and look appealing. Now we're gonna do the yellow ones and repeat the same process. So similar to before, adding in our wafers and then of course adding some vegetable oil, mixing all of that together so that we were able to get that nice liquid-like texture. And then I went ahead and added the chocolate into the molds that I got. These molds are also from Amazon and I'll link them below in the description box. And then Ryan was right there to fill those molds with the Oreos. And again, you want to make sure you press the Oreo all the way down so that it gets all that side coating so that all of the spaces of the Oreo are filled completely. And so you're just going to let them freeze for about 10 to 15 minutes. So this is me taking out the orange one. And so you can see the bottom is a little smooth compared to the other one, but I didn't cover the top all the way. So that's something you want to make sure you do is push that Oreo down so that the top can be covered, and then just kind of repeat that process. This one came out so good. And this is the end result, how I mixed them in with the cupcakes and the cake. I absolutely love how this turned out for Ryan's 4th birthday party, and I'll definitely be doing this again.